Hi YouTube, welcome back to Wtf Rc Cars. So we've got something for the rock crawlers today. So big shout out first to the guys at Sky. They provided this for review for us, and it's the new Hobbywing XERUN system. This combo comes with the 4274 motor that's for 1/6 and 1/8 scale crawlers. So basically it's a whacking great big can. So you can fit this in any of your bigger crawlers. Interesting thing with this ESC, it can cope with up to 6S, which does explain the 1700 kV of this motor. So from 1/10 all the way up to like 1/6, this has pretty much got you covered. There is an awful lot of information to give you on this one, so I'm gonna do this over multiple videos because we'd end up with an hour-long video, and I don't want people having to traipse all the way through that just to get to the part that's relevant for what they want to do. So this first video, I'm going to bring in for a close-up look. I'm going to show you what you get with each part of this combo, so you know what you'd need or what to look out for depending on what vehicle you're going to be fitting it in. And you can also get a multitude of different motors for this, from the 3300 down in kV and different can sizes. So yeah, bring in for a close-up look, show you what you get with this particular combo, and we'll take it from there. So starting off with the motor, 4274, so that gives you the size in millimeters. It says suitable for 1/8 to 1/6 crawlers, 1700 kV. It's got the FOC technology that you come to expect from the Hobbywing setup. And if we check on back, as full part number is XERUN AXE 4274 SD 1700 kV black R3. Does say it's IP67 water resistant and dust, and it does say it's suitable for 1/7, 1/7, 1/8 and 1/6 scale crawlers. So let's get it out of packet and see what we get in that part. So we got the cellophane off, and as you can see, this is a bloody whacking great big can. Now the wires aren't soldered on these, but the sensor wire is the new waterproof round barrel type. So for this motor you are gonna need the Hobbywing ESC. But yeah, this is a bloody great big can, and it doesn't actually come with any instructions. So it doesn't tell us the output shaft size, but let's have a look with the calipers. So we'll zero that, and so it is a 5mm shaft, measures 4.99 roughly, not counting the flat. So we've got a 5mm output shaft, and just to give you some idea, that's the standard type sensor cable. Not particularly good for being waterproof, whereas this one, a lot better waterproof wise. We have got different size screw holes on it. So if we check on here, so the larger ones we're looking at 24.7mm center to center. I think the smaller ones are the same, and I think if we check it, so I think we've got 3mm threaded holes and 2mm threaded holes looking at it. So yeah, that is the actual motor. We get plenty of length in the cables, so a bit weird that we don't get any instructions with any spec of it or anything. Not sure if that's because it comes in combo, so maybe as instructions for his motor or in the ESC. But let's get the ESC open, and then we can have a look, see what we get in this. So back to his ESC, it's the AXE Plus R3, 135 amp, suitable for 1/10 to 1/6 crawlers, FOC technology. And if we look on back, it's the XERUN AXE Plus R3, built-in Bluetooth module, so we can adjust and firmware update just from an app on phone. And it just says gives extremely linear and excellent FOC drive, large torque and nearly silent operation. So, but if we get the box open, let's have a look what we get in this. Now I'm wondering, with it being a combo, if his instructions tell us more information about the actual motor. But as we can see straight away, whacking great big long lead with an XT60 on it. It's capable up to 6S, Bluetooth built in, so we can run 2S to 6S, so quite a small footprint for a 6S ESC. Now, one thing that may sort of benefit you, you can buy extension leads for these. They do have the little arrows on them where you put them together, and they do clip together pretty good, but you've not got a huge amount of length there between the speed controller and the motor. But if you look at the actual motor wires, they're thereabouts. They're the right length that you'd want. Just remember, this is censored, so your A, B and C when you're soldering these on need to correspond to the A, B and C on the actual motor itself. We do have a nice long power cable, and looks like these are 12 gauge. We've got our standard plug, standard power switch, but no little button on it this time. And the actual cables that run off this one, you've got your black one that is your standard, and then you get two more auxiliary ones, so we'll have a look as what you can assign to these. These will come in handy if you've got a more basic transmitter but you have got extra channels. It'll let you assign functions to control some of the settings on the ESC itself. And we'll just have a quick look at what else we get in box. So we do get a zip tie, we do get some heat shrink, and a little bit of 3M tape for sticking down the ESC and the power switch, so it is nice to see. And we do get some stickers, because we all love Hobbywing stickers. But let me have a quick look through the instructions and see if I can give you more information about this combo. So if I can get pictures of these off the Hobbywing site from the instructions, I'll put them on. If not, I shall take photos of the standard instructions. But to give you the main specs of it, basically it's 135 amp with a 600 amp peak. The Axe R3 system is only compatible with the Axe R3 and R2 series motors, so don't try and put a non-Hobbywing motor on this ESC. The BEC output, we've got 6 volt, 7.4 or 8.4 volt, and it's a continuous current of 6 amps, so quite a beefy ESC. Makes sense, seems though it can run up to 6S and the 1/6 scale cars. You're going to have a powerful servo in them. Motor wise, we've got the 540 R2 2300, and that's 2 to 3S capable, and that has the 3.175mm output shaft. Then you've got the 1400 540L motor, that's 2 to 4S. Same 3mm shaft. You've got the 540 LR2 2100 kV 2 to 4S 3mm shaft. You've then got the 540L 2800 kV 2 to 4S, and that is a 3mm shaft. Then you move up to the 550 can motors, the R2 3300, that's 2 to 3S capable. It does say you can run the 3300 on 4S, but it will limit the throttle to a maximum of 85%, and it's to do with the RPM at motor on 4S, but standard is 2 to 3S. That jumps up to a 5mm shaft. Then you've got the Axe 4274 R3 1700 kV, that is 3S to 6S capable, 5mm shaft, and then the 4274 R3 2000 kV, again 3 to 6S and a 5mm shaft. So then we've got the calibration, which is same as all Hobbywing ESCs. Press and hold the power button and then press it when the light flashes with the throttle in the mid position. Full throttle, press the power button again. Full brake, press the power button again, and it's calibrated. Then we've got the actual programming table itself. So we've got running modes. We can have forward and reverse, or forward reverse with brake. We've got the RPM throttle matching, which is set to intermediate. You've also got disable low and high, and this is where it'll try and increase the current, if I believe right. It increases the current of the motor to keep the RPM steady as you're crawling over things. So basically just throttle matching, tries to keep the wheel RPM exactly the same, or the motor RPM exactly the same, no matter how much resistance it comes up to. Then you've got setting 3, which is LiPo cells. So you can have it auto, 2S, 3, 4, 5 or 6S. Then you've got the voltage cutoff, so you can disable it, low, intermediate or high. You've got the BEC settings, so 6 volt, 7.4 or 8.4 volt. You've got the smart fan, so you can have the fan only coming on when it reaches a certain temperature. You can have that enabled or disabled. Motor rotation, because this is censored, you don't swap the motor cables round, you actually have to do it in the software. So stock's counterclockwise, but you can swap it to clockwise. You've got maximum forward force, which is 25, 37.5, 50, 62.5, 75, 87.5 or 100. You've got your punch level, which is 1 to 15. Neutral range, 3% to 15. Initial throttle force, 1 to 15%. Then you've got RPM decrease rate, so that's the speed at which the throttle will start to come down once you let off full throttle. And you've got levels 1 to 9 for that. Stock is 1. Maximum reverse force, so stock is 50, but you can have 25, 37.5, 50, 62.5, 75, 87.5 or 100. You've got maximum brake force, 10 to 200% brake force. You've got drag brake force, so that's when you let off the throttle, how quickly or how much force it'll put to stopping the car. Again, 0 to 200%, your default's 80. You've got smart drag brake rate, so this intelligently brings the drag brake on, so it'll sense if the car's running at full throttle. It won't just nosedive onto full drag brake setting and send your car hurtling over end. You can have that enabled or disabled. It's quite good if you've got a bit of a walk to where you're going, so you can run it as like a trail mode, and then when you get to crawling, it'll instantly switch back to your stock drag brake settings. You've got drag brake rate, which is the rate the drag brake comes on. You've got turbo timing, 0 to 24%, and turbo delay. Stock is instant, and stock turbo is 0%. Something you might want to play with if you're trail running with it, but you can change that from instant to 0.05 of a second, 0.1, 0.15, 0.20, 0.3, 0.5, 0.7 or 1 second. Then you've got your auxiliary channels 3 and 4. So you've got the white cable and the yellow cable. And this is handy if you've got not so much a smart transmitter, but you've got extra channels. You can assign, so if we look, either one of these can be assigned to any of multiple different settings. So you can have drag, you can have maximum forward force, you can have punch. Then we've got RPM decrease rate, we've got maximum reverse force, we've got maximum drag brake force, we've got drag brake force, then we've got drag brake rate, we've got turbo timing and turbo delay. So either one of those cables can be set like that to any one of them. As stock, we've got the white cable set to drag brake force, and the yellow cable is set to drag brake rate. So it is nice that if you've not got one of the higher end transmitters, but you do have extra auxiliary channels, you've got an added bit of functionality, and whichever two settings out of them you want to set to it, you set it in software, and then you will have full control over them. Looking at the actual settings that it's changing, you're going to want a fully variable channel, not just an on-off switch for these. But yeah, it's got quite a lot of functionality, and I think I've covered quite a lot for this video. So at any point you can press and hold the button for longer than 16 seconds and then it'll reset the Bluetooth password and the Bluetooth link status for programming it. So if you were to buy one of these secondhand, or you set a password and you forgot it, you can reset that so you can connect it to your app. And you can access the data login and everything off the app. But I don't want to cover too much in this video. I just wanted to cover the actual basics, just to get you some idea of what you get with this, or what you'd need to buy separately. If you buy the combo, you've pretty much got everything you need. You just need to be aware of the motor spacings. Now, I do know on this, Hobbywing sell an adapter plate to take it up to, I believe it's 30mm from the 24 point something mil spacings that these are. So if your particular RC uses basically like drill motors, it may have the 30mm centers, and you can get an adapter to do this. And because it's got such a long output shaft, the spacer shouldn't make it so you can't get a pinion on there. You don't get a pinion with these, so that's something you'd have to supply for your RC, but any 5mm pinion will fit on it. And you do get the cooling fan. You've just got to be aware there is soldering to do on this axe system, and if you wanted to, you can chop the cable off and put whatever you want on there. Probably going to lose your warranty if you do that, but it does come with a nice quality XT60 on here. But yeah, you can remove the fan. You can have it on smart fan, so it'll only come on when it's needed. But yeah, quite a nice little system. As I say, the links to SourceSky will be in the description below. I have got a discount code for this combo, so I'll put that in the description. I'll also put it on screen somewhere if I think on. But yeah, quite an interesting system. Nice to see that we've now got the option of going all the way up to 6S in the really big crawlers. With it being a rock crawler, you don't need sort of crazy amps, but it has been up to 135 or 600 peak. But yeah, big shout out to the guys at SourceSky. Thanks for sending this in for review. I'll be doing separate videos on how to set it up, how to calibrate it, how to connect it to the Hobbywing app. And also on this one, we've got a new feature, which is that it is iBus 2 compatible. So if you've got the Flysky transmitters on the latest firmware, you'll be able to access a huge amount of telemetry from it. And also a lot of the settings that you'd have to go in the app for, you're going to be able to do straight off the transmitter itself. Which, I mean, that's kind of a game changer for ESCs. There has been ESCs in the past that have done it this way, where you can assign something to an auxiliary channel. It's nice that they've added this, but the iBus 2 functionality and being able to fully control all the programming and get all the telemetry in real time, it's going to be quite interesting. But that'll be a completely separate video on its own, because there's an awful lot to go through on this. But let's wrap this one up. So there we have the Hobbywing XERUN AXE R3 system and the 1700 kV 4274 motor. Big shout out to the guys at SourceSky that has sent this over for review. And I don't want these videos to be too long, and when you see the other videos on setting this up, you'll understand why some people won't want to sit through the entire setup, because that's not the one that they're going to be using. But hopefully you find this useful or interesting, or you just like listening to my incessant ramblings. But thanks again for watching Wtf Rc Cars. Don't forget to like and subscribe, hit the notification bell, share to friends and family, and catch you guys again in the next one.